get it going. Go 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're here with James Porco, Bar Jutsu, the author of the book Bar Jutsu, The American Art of Bar Fighting. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
We're living, man. We're getting through day to day, right?
So I hear you, man.
Yeah, so like I was saying, we had met a couple years, like 2018. You and I had gone back and forth on social media, and this is the first time that we're actually seeing each other face to face, which is crazy because we've had tons of conversations and stuff. So yeah, man. So I want to talk about a little bit of your background because I know your background, how you got into it, about your book and stuff. So go right ahead, man.
All right. Well, I'm thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be on here.
I'm excited to have you on, man. You're awesome.
Well, back in 2010, I wrote this book, this joke book about bar fighting. It's an educational but humorous self-defense book about bar fighting. So when it finally got picked up, we had to, since we were basically doing all the promotion ourselves, I decided to come up with this idea to go bar to bar and promote it. So instead of just going there and being like, hey, here's my book, I started this beer pong league. So they'd come in and they'd play beer pong and then they'd buy the books. And it worked out really well. And then the next thing you know, we're doing like all the beer fests in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's real big for craft beer and all that. So they have all these beer fests going on, and we started doing them. And next thing you know, like the Pittsburgh Zoo was doing their zoo brews. They asked us to come do tournaments there. And what's really unique is we noticed that people were really getting into the beer pong more than they were like the self-defense thing, because we do a bunch of things with Bar Jutsu, but we really started focusing on, well, let's give something that people can interact with, they can do. Let's do these tournaments. Let's do these traveling tournaments. With my professional wrestling background, I said, all right, well, we can custom make championship belts for every tournament. So we figured out a way where it was cost effective, where we wouldn't have to just buy belts and then use them for show and then go from there. We could give everybody that played their own set. So every time we do a new tournament, there was a new design, and then we put them on. And that's what really got people following us. We started developing this huge following. Next thing you know, we were doing shows with these tournaments at bars with maybe 8 teams would show up. Next time we do it, 16 teams would show up. Next time we do it, the bar's packed and the owner's like yelling at me because they're like, we didn't expect these many people to show up. So now we're doing like 32 teams. And then we had to cut it back because it was too many for us to handle. We had to start buying more tables.
It's incredible.
So it got really exciting.
It's incredible how you grew like that, man.
It was almost, it took some time, me going from bar to bar and then festival to festival with 2 tables and then 4 tables and then 8 tables and then, buying a company van for it and everything. It just got really exciting. And a few years back, I had just, from doing the professional wrestling and everything, I said, you know what, this is something we got to do. We got to put it on TV. Everybody always films it. They put it on YouTube or whatever it is. I'm like, but we have to create a concept where it's like Sports Center style with the scoreboard on the screen and everything. So we started toying with some ideas, and we started filming some stuff, and we started pitching it around. And after talking to just multiple companies and just pitching the pilot in front of people, finally last year, we got in front of AT&T Sportsnet. And it was funny when I first talked to them, I said, I have an idea for a show I'd like to put on your network. And they were like, okay, what is it? And I was like, Championship Beer Pong. And they were like, thanks for your time.
Yeah, every time. Right. Every time you pitch it to anybody, that's exactly what happens.
Exactly. So I was like, if you guys give me 30 seconds, I guarantee I'll change your mind. So they're like, all right, go ahead, give us your elevator pitch. So I said, okay, traditionally it's beer pong. We call it beer pong, but we don't use beer, LCB rules. So I start laying down all the legal stuff. I'm like, it's all water and all this stuff and everything. People can drink, but we can't supply them alcohol. We can only pay them so much per tournament because of the law.
Yeah.
So they were like, all right, well, let's take a look at this pilot. And we actually shot the first pilot and it was just, you know, it was like handheld cams on tripods, and we were shooting the angles and everything. And they were like, we really like this, but we want to see some changes. So they were the ones that said what would be really cool is if you had an overhead cam. So I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to do that in these bars and everything. And then I thought of this bar that's not too far from my house that had this drop ceiling. And I said, well, we can hang a camera from the ceiling, and then we could just let it record, and we'd go and do everything. And I don't know if you remember the MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, where they do like the Japanese game show.
Yeah.
And they have people do the commentary over it. Well, we said, okay, well, let's film the beer pong, because who's really going to watch beer pong for 30 minutes? I mean,
Right.
it's beer pong, right? So what we do is like dodgeball style, where they're playing beer pong. You got two, like, you know, average Joes. The one guy's like 400 plus pounds, and the other guy's like, you know, skinny, against these two just smoking hot like supermodels. You know?
Yeah, I've watched them. I've watched those, and you have like multiple cameras, angles. You usually have like the cups that are like being taken off. I mean, I've seen what you had done. I was like, man, this is so professional. I was watching it a couple times, and it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And when we shot it again with the overhead camera, we gave it to AT&T, and they were like, "This is it. Let's go."
Yeah.
So they immediately were like, "Okay, we need to do 8 episodes." So I said, "Okay, well, let's start it off small. Let's do we'll do 8 teams. You know, we'll have them compete in a weekly thing. So you see 2 teams each week. We'll build up like a storyline. We'll do the funny commentary over top of it, and then we'll have the championship. You know, we'll drag it out for the championship." So we got excited, you know, we got ready to sign the deal and everything. It's still in place,
Right.
But suddenly COVID happens.
Yes.
You know, you work from 2010 to get something off the ground. Finally, it gets picked up. You're all excited. You got all these people on board. You got all these sponsors. Like, we were lucky. We got Iron City Beer, which is here in Pittsburgh, is a huge beer. And then we got Sport Clips. We work nationally with Sport.
That's the one I remember you had talked to me about. I was like, it's huge, dude. They were full behind you.
Oh, yeah. So we got on board with them nationally, and we've been working with them for 5 years or more, something like that.
Awesome.
And everything was great. So we filmed 4 episodes. The first 4, you got 8 teams, and they've competed. So we have the first 4 winners that moved to the second round. And then COVID-19 hit and shut us down.
Jeez.
It was like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
So AT&T Sportsnet, they air the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. They contacted us and said, look, we still want to do this, but we don't know what we're doing with our programming right now, because at the time sports had shut down. So they started playing old clips of like old games, old championship games of baseball and hockey. So we talked to them, and they said, look, whenever everything's up and running and we know when we can get back into the bars and start filming and everything, we'll lock down a schedule. So it's a little irritating, because we did work so hard to get to the point where we're at, but now we're on hold and we just don't know when we're going to start filming again. Everybody keeps asking, when we start in round 2? When, you know, we can't even get into the bar, because the bar that we use, Gorman's Pub here in Pittsburgh, they had to get rid of their pool tables and their dartboards and everything, just because the restrictions, the guidelines are just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So hopefully within a couple months, this is gonna, you know, go away, and then you'll be able to get back on track. But it's just amazing how you took, like, when everybody drew, like, for me personally, that's like the dream is to kind of create a league where you could spread it on like a TV station or get more of a attention to it, because you got cornhole, axe throwing, all this stuff. And I think beer pong, just because it has beer pong and where it comes from like, you know, binge drinking and stuff, and it's not that anymore. It's more of a sport. Like, some of these, you know, big companies, they won't touch it, you know, like, you know, Budweiser, some of the liquor companies, they're afraid that it's going to be associated with binge drinking. For you to break through those barriers, get there with, you know, the AT&T Sportsnet, sports clips, stuff like that. I mean, that hats off to you, dude. I'm super impressed. Listen, super impressed with that, because it's difficult, because I'll have meetings with people all the time, and like you said, 10 seconds in, you're shut down. You know, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah. And the best part was, like, that's how I came across Pongkings. When we originally started saying, all right, like 2 years ago, like you said, 2018.
Yeah.
when we originally started the idea for the project, I said, okay, instead of just grabbing teams from Pittsburgh, because even though we're in Pittsburgh, the whole show doesn't have to be Pittsburgh based. So my idea was, let's reach out to people, in Jersey, in Arizona, wherever we can get like the best teams and bring them together. And that's when because I didn't want to, first thing I didn't want to do was step on anyone's toes. I knew with the millions of people out there and the hundreds of thousands of beer pong leagues that are out there, somebody else had to have this idea. And what I didn't want was, I didn't want somebody to be like, son of a bitch, this guy in Pittsburgh had my idea and now I can't be part of it. So my thought was, when I reached out to you, was let's get your best team and get them on the show.
Right.
Let's get everybody's best team. So now, like you said, instead of us competing against all these other leagues saying we're the best, now we're bringing it together like the National Football League or NHL and everything. It's a national organization with teams all over.
Yeah.
So and we even reached out to the World Series of Beer Pong just to say, listen, if you ever had an idea to do a show, we want you to be part of this.
Did you go out there for 1 year? I think you maybe went out there, or you were planning on.
We did the first season of Bar Jutsu Beer Pong League online. It was all Facebook Live episodes, and the champions, the Ward Street Boys, who won the first season, they won a trip out to Vegas. I think they made it to the final day, but it was funny because they were sending me videos. They were just complaining. They're like, dude, we're going to get spanked. And I'm like, why? You guys are good. They're like, yeah, we're good, but you got to see this. And they're sending me videos. There was a dude like 7'6", and he literally was like leaning over the table, just dropping the ball in the cups.
Yeah,
I was like, holy cow, man. He's like, it's all like that out here. He's like, they don't care about leans. They don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah. We try to explain, like, we do 6 foot. World Series has the 8 foot. We try to explain to people the reason they do the 8 foot is just so they don't have to manage elbow calls. So they add an extra foot on the table, so you're allowed to lean. Some of them are exaggerated, but we've lined up World Series shots and a 6 foot shot, and the lean looks bad, but it really is the same as an elbow shot. Some of those tall people really can go far, but and then they've adjusted their rules a little bit to kind of get away from it, because definitely the optics of that, for someone like people that come for your league that are playing competitive, then go out to the World Series, it has that bad optic where it does look like these people are just dropping a ball. And so we get that all the time with Pongkings. We hear all the time about the World Series, and I try to explain to them, man, it's really not. And we've done videos about it, but I could just, I remember when you first started it, and then you sent your guys out there. I knew you were affiliated with somehow. You were talking to the guys at the World Series, and for me personally, like, I don't think I don't say, oh man, these guys are stepping on toes, or these. I'm excited because I'm trying to do the same thing you are, just grow this league, grow this sport. I think it's an untapped market. I think there's so many people out there that don't even know a community like this exists. And guys like you that are getting that exposure, man, I'm behind it. So if you do it, fantastic, because I'm trying to do it, and then we work together. Like, I've never met an organizer that isn't like, let's do something together, let's work together. Like, the players all love it. And for me, I'm an amateur league that tries to promote the pro leagues. So I think there's a huge market for the amateur leagues, as far as the 6 foot tables, the people that play in their backyard, their, college dorm room, the tailgaters. So I'm looking at that league to try to filter into the World Series and just grow the sport more. A guy like you is tapping into that market. And even we had spoke about how, like, Post Malone had started, said, he's beer pongs and Bentleys. And I know how you feel about this, so we'll talk about it. But, he's beer pongs and Bentleys. But he wants to do the World Series of beer, the World League of Beer Pong or whatever. And I said, man, it's great. It's an untapped market that I've been trying to get into. Like, as far as World Series goes, I think they haven't touched the bigger market that's out there. And I think here's an opportunity for this guy to put a highlight on it. I don't think he could do it better than you or I, but I think it's great that there's somebody that's trying to move the sport forward, which is something that you and I do. So and I know you had this idea before him, so I want you to go off.
And that's the one thing that's been killing me for the past couple of months. Like I said, with beer pong, it's a fair concept. I'm literally not the first guy to put a camera in front of a table and be like, let's do something with this, you know? But the more we started doing it, the more I wanted to start reaching out to people and like get that word spread, you know? So months ago, even like last year, I started tweeting and emailing and doing anything I could to any celebrity that has ever touched a ping pong ball. And last year, I want to say,
any feedback on that? Like, did anybody respond to you?
Yeah, we got people that were responding. Like the one big response was Jamie Kennedy, the actor comedian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We actually had him lined up. We were talking like on a weekly basis, where we had him lined up. He was going to host the show. You know, and then it was like, and he understood. He's like, I know you're just a small company and there's not a lot of money. He's like, and I get that. He was real cool about it, you know, real understanding. And I told him, I was like, I just think this would be a great gig for him to host it. So he's like, you know, keep me posted and everything. And I was like, yeah, definitely. So around that time, I really want to say it was like November of last year, because that's when we started filming, you know, pretty hardcore. We started doing the first 4 episodes. I had reached out to Post Malone. I said, you know what? I know this guy is a big beer pong. He's an avid beer pong player. If I can send him the pilot that we did and show him, hey, we're doing this thing, and I know you really like beer pong. Maybe you could make a guest appearance or something on the show, or do whatever you want, you know, because with it being the first season that was going to air, I wasn't looking to be like a millionaire overnight or a thousandaire or anything.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be successful and get the word out and start getting it spread.
Yeah.
So I was reaching out to him. I was tweeting him. I was sending him screenshots of our official Kristen, the table, the championship belts, everything I could do. You know, I sent him the link to the pilot. I sent him everything I could. And I was like, Post, you know, we could really use your help getting this off the ground and everything. Heard nothing, you know.
So you basically sold him the framework of how to do it, and he just
right. Everything.
Keys to the fucking car and
exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, like I came across this website, and it was just like coincidental. Post Malone had created a website, and he said he was looking for ideas to donate to things like either like charities or companies and everything. And I was like, this would be great. And all you had to do was register on the website, and you could send him a text message. And when you sent the message of the idea of where you wanted him to donate money to, it responded, hey, thanks, you know, this is Posty. Thanks for sending me the idea. We'll be in touch, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, all right, this is great. I got all these contacts and everything, and I heard nothing. And then he made the announcement months later. And I was livid. Not that I'm like, and I want to be clear about this. I wasn't like, I'm going to shut him down. I'm going to sue him. You know, this is ridiculous.
Oh, right. You basically reached out to him with the same idea that he's basically trying to do.
Exactly. I was like, listen.
Anybody off, you know?
Right. I was like, let's collaborate. You know, let's work together. But the problem was he made this big announcement, now the World Pong League. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Instead of working with us, he has now come up with this idea on his own.
Yeah.
So I started reaching out to all these like news media outlets and things and everything. And a guy from LA called me, and he was like, hey, can I ask you some questions? Because this seems interesting. So I sent him all the screenshots of everything reaching out to Post Malone and all these things. And he's like, well, this seems legitimate. You don't seem like some guy that's just making this up. And he's like, I appreciate the fact that you're not trying to stop him from doing it. You just want to acknowledge, let's work together. So he actually calls Post Malone's people. And he says, we got word that you guys are starting this league. Are you aware of this company in Pittsburgh that has started filming this TV show, this Bar Jutsu Beer Pong League? And they're like, we've never heard of it. This was our idea first. We came up with it in January. And then here's the kicker. They tell this reporter, and I'm not going to mention his name, but they tell this reporter, not only was it our idea in January, but we filed for the paperwork and the trademark stuff in June of this year. So a friend of mine, this television producer out in LA, I'm talking to him. I'm like, you believe this stuff? Because he knew that I was working on this show. I'm like, you believe Post Malone did this? And he says, when did he say that he filed for the paperwork? I'm like, well, his people said that they filed for it in June. He goes, that's funny. He sends me a screenshot of the legal paperwork filings from July 11th. So I sent that screenshot to the reporter, and I'm like, okay, because the reporter says apparently this is a coincidence. And I said, well, that's a hell of a coincidence because they told you he filed for it in June, and here's a screenshot of July. So he was like, that is interesting. So he called them back and requested a one-on-one interview with Post Malone, and they denied it.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're not going to. Yeah. So my feeling about it, and we've spoken about this, is I think, I know he filed for that World Beer Pong League, but I don't think he has the time or the know-how how to do it. So I think when it comes time to do, because I haven't heard anything else about it. I haven't seen a website. I think he just filed for that, to get the name for the league, and then they have, because I know they did online. Like a lot of people were doing online tournaments, and then him and his buddies did like some super like $20,000 tournament, but just between some of him and his friends that I guess play. And they had done it online. I watched a little bit of it. It was chaotic. There was, a lot of stupidity. It was more for show than actual real beer pong. But if he does this, he has, you could do the showmanship, like the fooling around for a TV show and for popularity. But there's a lot of people who don't like that. They want it for the structure. They want it for the competition. They want it for, to be more like looked at as, sports figures. Because it is, these kids that play they're real sports figures. Like, this is a sport. It's not, it's not a game of chance when it comes to that level. So I think he's going to run into that wall, and then guys like you and I will, and Pong Stars, and then the World Series of Beer Pong. I think they're all going to come together, and he's going to learn. He's going to pull us all together, and then we'll end up running that with him under his umbrella.
I want everyone to come together, and I want some. There was the league in Maryland, DeMarco in Arizona. I want people to be able to be like, hey, I want to put these teams on your show this week. And I'm like, all right, let's get them together. Let's do what we got to do, to get a camera crew wherever it is to set up the table. I want to be able to expand and move on from it. And even if it's like the first season that we're doing where we have 8 designated teams. Okay, that's fine. But if the first season does well on television and people like it and people watch it, then we can say, okay, well, let's make this a traveling show where we can say, okay, there are teams that are competing, but let's focus this season on leagues that are out there, and highlight their teams, not necessarily saying, okay, this team is going to go wherever, to the point where we got the sponsors paying us all this money, or we can say, okay, now, you have the Pittsburgh players versus the New York players, and it really becomes a national league where, they are city-sponsored teams,
That's all, or bar sponsor or whatever. Yeah, I agree. 100% this is the vision that should be. I can't believe World Series doesn't have this vision. They can't see the bigger picture.
When I talked to Billy Gaines, they had a bunch of ideas that they just couldn't put together the way that we put this pilot together. He was like, we pitched all these networks and all this stuff and nobody bought it. And I was like, well, AT&T got ours. And he was like, great, congratulations. And I was like, dude, I'm not taking any thunder away from you. I said, we made it. We're on here. I would love to highlight you guys as the WrestleMania of, or the World Series of this championship, But it's funny, back when you were talking about Post Malone, I agree 100%. I think he's one of those dudes that's like, I've got all the money in the world, and I really like this. And you know what? I'm going to announce that I'm going to do this. And then when he sits back and goes, holy shit, I have to go record albums, and I got to go on tour, and I got to do all this stuff. I'm not going to have time for this shit.
I don't think he could put the logistics together. Even if he does, it's never going to be a sport where the top players are going to want to go compete in it, because it seems foolish. It seems very wild, no structure. And then for him to try to put structure to it, I think it goes against his mantra. So then to say, hey, man, I'll start this league, have these guys run it, and then him just show up and, sell his swag, sell his merchandise, sell more albums. He's just going to pick up more and more fans. I think it's an unfucking tap market. There's all these people that play. Nobody's organized at all. And I think a guy like you, guys like me, people that have experience with it, he'll be the roof that we all kind of are able to come together. Financially, he's got the money that could put us all together. We can have whatever we want. There'll be big, festivals or something, and he'll be like, we want to do a beer pong league at that festival. All three of us would go down there and run it. He's got fuck you money to pay us to do it and fly us down there and put us up, and nothing has to come out of our pocket, pay us to run it. I think to me, that's the only thing that I could see the way he's not going to hire his buddies to do it because they have no experience. Nobody's tapped into this market. So that's my opinion about it. And then I think a guy like you who has all this set up is in the perfect position because you have the showmanship background with your wrestling. You have, you know how to market yourself with your book, and then what you're doing here with the AT&T Sportsnet, with the commentating and the switching of the cameras. I was blown away because I'm like, how the hell are you doing this? Like, I'm like, this is all post-production. Like, are you going back and editing? But it was done so fucking well. I was like, this is amazing.
Thanks, man.
No, really, honestly. And then, I don't know how many other people, like, I'm into this sport. Like, I'm always looking for the new thing, see what everyone else is doing, try to improve it. And what you just keep on doing, I'm just like, man, more people need to know about this. More people need to follow this guy. More people need to watch your videos. Well, I hope everybody goes and follows you and really checks it out. And when we come out of this, like, you're going to come out of this with, like, a steamroller and really show everything. Because I think like you said, you'll do, like two loser guys against two really hot chicks. Like, you're marketing in such a cool way that I think somebody's gonna be like, oh, I want to be on that show, I want to play, and I think you're doing it perfectly, man. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, and listen, this thing, I understand. I would be pissed too. I mean, I come from a DJ background, so for 20 years I DJ'd in clubs and stuff, and you go and you build up these clubs, and you're out of the gig. It's a pain in the ass when you set the foundation. So, but I've learned cream always rises to the top, man. You have experience. Doesn't matter how big this guy is. He's a great singer. He might suck at running beer pong leagues, So, and I don't even know what kind of fucking player he is, but we got the world champion, Matt Kine, that plays for us, and we just did the podcast with him, and we called him out. We're like, if Post Malone thinks he's the best or has the best, come and challenge us, Yeah. We got we have the best players in the world. You got Brandon Clark. You got, BC. We got guys like Casey McKenna, Ray Horn, Vinny Gania, Justin. Like, we got all these guys that are great here in Jersey. I mean, listen, I'll put my top 10 against his top 10 any fucking day, and then at the end of the day, you're going to want the best players playing for you, because if you're going to be running this shit and your players think they're the greatest, they're going to step into our league and just get their ass handed to them. You want the Michael Jordans. Yeah, you want the Michael. So, like I said, I think this is all going to shake out. I think you're positioned perfectly. And sometimes, even with this COVID, I think it's a blessing sometimes, man. You can regroup. You could gather some strength. You got everything ready to go. And I think when we come out of this, you're going to come out of it strong, out of the box, man. And I'm looking forward to it, dude. Super. I can't wait.
You're coming with us.
No, well, listen, I'm definitely going to, whatever you need from me, man, I'd love to send my players, take a ride. Now, you're in Pittsburgh, right? So it's only like an 8-hour ride. Come on, man. We could get a bus.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
But, I'll put them on the bus. I'll take a plane, though.
When we had the first season, the one that we did on Facebook, we actually had a team that was sponsored by you guys.
Yes, that's right.
They were mediocre.
We talked about that. It was a pleasure for you to even say, hey, man, you don't have to put any money down. We're going to put a team out there to get you the exposure, and I really appreciate that. You've been cool from day one since I met you on the phone, from when I was trying to get sponsorship for my guys in Atlantic City for the BCD East. You kind of sent me down some pass, just to say, hey, man, here's what you have to do. And I appreciate that. A lot of guys in this business, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, And
oh yeah,
it's on this level. It's fantastic. And from day one, you've been awesome. So I know it's going to come back to you, bro. I know it is.
Thanks, man. Well, like I said, you're coming with us. It's my thing is I'm not in it just for like me. I'm not like I created this. This is mine. Right. I want everyone, like anybody that contacts us, and they're like, hey, we got this team that's really great. And I'm like, where are you from? They're like, we're in North Dakota. All right, we'll figure out a way to either get your team to Pittsburgh so we can film an episode, or we'll come to North Dakota. We're all about bringing everyone together. It's not just we happen to be in Pittsburgh and we're keeping it here. It's an everywhere thing. So
Well,
that's
sign
what
me
that's
up,
like.
bro. Sign me up because I love. That's exactly what I want to do, and I'll hitch my fucking wagon right to you, and we'll ride it together because you got the right idea, dude. You
That's
definitely
awesome.
do. Bring everybody together, right? Untapped market. You know, I can't tell you. We've been in business almost 8 years. We've done. You know, we're on 178 1Ks, which are like 10-week seasons, and at the end we give away $1,000. And we're on 178 of these things at different bars over the last 8 years. And I can't tell you how many people still come up to us and go, "We never even knew this existed." I'm like, "Are you like, we're hard body on all the social media and stuff, and we're still running into people." So a guy like you brings it to like into a bigger forum where more people see it. It's going to help guys like me because I'm good at running tournaments. They come in, they'll want to experience it, and then we shuffle them off to guys like you, guys like the World Series. So, man, I'll hitch my wagon to whatever you need, man. Players, somebody to run it. I don't care.
We still got to make the custom Pong King championship belt and send it out your way.
Yeah.
So.
No, I listen, man. These fucking kids don't deserve those belts, man. I got them fucking winner stickers. So when they win, they get a sticker.
No, we'll send, even if it's just for you, we'll send you a complimentary Pong King belt.
We do those 5Ks. I think it'd be decent for the 5Ks. That'd be awesome. We have a trophy that we hand out for the player championship, but we'll hook up with those belts for the next 5K that we do. I think that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's on us. That's our gift to you, buddy.
No. Go. You'll be invited down free of charge. We'll have a couple beers and we'll drink.
Absolutely, man.
Pick up your board too.
Couple beers. What are you, lightweight?
No, sir. That's my problem. So listen. So I don't know if you follow what's going on with like World Series. I don't know if you follow like Pong Stars. If you're following any of those groups at all.
Not much. I used to in the beginning, but I start feeling like I have to kind of focus more on what I'm doing. So I always feel bad when I don't pay attention to what's going on in the other ones.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I always try to focus on myself and my own business. I don't try to worry about them because they don't affect me too much. But I am in this world, and a lot of my players now do play. When we first started, they were already even on that level. Now we have a bunch of teams that go out there, a lot of players, really good players that do really well. So I kind of, keep my my tabs on what's happening. So I'm curious about, coming out of the pandemic, what's the future of, the sport? Like World Series obviously is just going to keep on doing their one big tournament a year and handing out the bids, and all the organizers are going to do that. But when you build up what you're doing after you do your leagues, I think a 10v10, I'm sold on it. I think that's, because then you can get teams from, you have, Pennsylvania versus New Jersey 10v10, you have Arizona 10v10, you have almost like I said, New York Knicks against the Celtics. Like you have your team that represents,
Right.
So then you could do like qualifying tournaments in each state to get the best 10 players from that state to go play trades. I don't know. It could just go on and on, but
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one thing I was thinking about when we first started hooking up, you were trying to sell me on the 10v10, and I said, well, we do the six cup racks so that we cut the time down, and then we do really basic rules and everything. And right. It got me thinking. I was like, you know what? If we ever do, like, let's say we did a special episode where it was like, Bar Jutsu Beer Pong League versus the Pong Kings. We brought it together. It could be like AFC and NFC, where, or you know what I mean, or like American League and National League, where it's like, okay, this round we're going, Bar Jutsu Beer Pong League rules, and then it switches up. We got to switch the tables up, and we got to go to Pong King rules. And it's like there's so many different things that we could do where before each episode you could post and say, okay, tonight we're going by these rules, different house rules and everything, and it really changes it up. There's so many options that I'm really excited, because like I said, once the pandemic lifts and we go full steam ahead, it's going to be great.
I agree with you, man. I think you guys have the momentum right now with this, and I think it's where the sport should be going to get to the level of cornhole, to get to the level. I mean, that hatchet throwing stuff, I watch it on TV. It's just, have you ever seen this stuff?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's boring. These guys just don't miss. It's just like throw. Like, I'm like, all right, dudes, we know, like, you got to do something different. Like,
right. And they're like 8 feet away. And I'm like, okay, You
got that spin down. Like, you're not, okay, same spin, same, the bullseye. And the cornhole's got a lot of momentum,
Right.
But it just doesn't compare to beer pong. It just doesn't. Man.
What I love about it is it's like you said, it doesn't compare because when you watch the cornhole and it's like, okay, like they're like real serious, like they get into it and it's a cool. I like to play cornhole. We have our own cornhole tournaments here. We don't televise, we don't record them and film them and stuff because it's like, it's boring to watch. But with beer pong, the smack talk that happens and the shots and just everything that falls into play is just it's enjoyable to watch. And then like when it's not enjoyable, when it's just okay, two teams just throwing it, that's when the commentary kicks in and it's just like, like he's like, ooh, and he lines up the shot. Oh, he really pissed that one away. And you're just like, it's like, hey, what happened?
Last game, this team was doing great. Now they're shitting the bed. What happened? Between this game the shooting hunt goes on here. Oh man, I don't know. Something must have got in their head. And then the swings in the game, just when you got a re-rack and people are going for certain racks and stuff. I just think it's got so much more. If you're like guys like you and I, we watch so much of it. Like we're involved. People who don't watch it, like to teach them about it. I all the time. My friends who know me, they'll come out to one of my leagues. I've been doing it for 8 years. They'll come out and within like 3 games, they're completely involved. They're like, this is awesome. They're competitive and they're talking about this. That guy's so good. And I'm like, yeah, see, it only took you 3 games to start, getting into it.
Right.
I think if people who would watch the sport, they would definitely within one episode of what you're doing with the commentary and stuff, I think they're going to be. And then the players themselves, to be able to highlight them and, oh man, I remember this guy from last time. He's so good. What's his name? I'm going to follow him. And, they become almost celebrities. Yeah. Better than cornhole. Like I'll watch cornhole. I couldn't tell you one fucking good cornhole player. Not one. But I could rattle off a list of 25 great beer pong players right now that are just, lights out. Unbelievable.
Yeah. If this all clears, like we were supposed to do Zoo Brew, it should have been this month. Actually, if I think about it, I think it was this weekend that it was supposed to go, but obviously it was shut down. We've been doing that for 5 years now, I think. And they've always put us like, they said, okay, you're going to be over in this tent or you're going to be here and everything. The last one we did last fall, the zoo ran out of beer really, early. So we had our little tournament going on. And next thing I know, like an hour into the tournament, 7,500 people come over to the tables. And I'm like, why is everybody over here? And they're like, oh, the whole place is out of beer. And everybody heard that there's a beer pong tournament going on. So 7,500 people stood there just to watch these teams playing and like cheering them on. Like, this is the greatest ever. So the next day I get an email from the zoo and they're like, that was so awesome. The next one that we do, we're going to have you guys like center stage in the middle of the zoo and just, it's going to be the whole focal point. And I was like, wow. And
you're living the dream, bro. This is it. This is what, when I envision this, I'm like, this is where I think it could go. And here you're doing it, dude. This is what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Because like I said, we do it with Iron City and everything. And I'll say it on the show here now. When the pandemic lifts and we go back to do Zoo Brew, one of Pongkings teams representing Pongkings will be brought out to Pittsburgh. I will make sure that they get here. We will get them transportation here to compete in our tournament. We'll save them a spot. So that would be awesome.
So we'll do a special tournament just to get that team that's going to go out there. They would love that. So we'll do a big-ass tournament here, representing you here to say whoever wins is going to go out to that for Bar Jutsu's Zoo Crew, right? Is that what it is?
Zoo Brew. Yeah, the Zoo Brew.
Yeah, so we'll do that, man. We'll put it together. That's awesome, man. We appreciate that so much, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But listen, it's a pleasure finally getting a chance to talk to you, and I think you're an awesome dude. Every time I speak to you, great things, and I hope everybody, now that they see who you are, they follow you, and they go and check it out, and we're looking forward to you coming back alive. We're all going to be waiting with bated breath there, bro, because you're doing some big shit, and I love it all. So
love you,
thank you so much. Thank you for being on here today, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Anytime.